Hey Vikings Nation, buckle up, because today's update might completely change how you see this quarterback room heading into the season. We're talking about a move that brings experience, controversy, and a whole lot of competition back into the spotlight. And trust me, this isn't just another depth signing, because the Minnesota Vikings are bringing back a name you already know, Carson Wentz, a quarterback with 99 career starts, a roller coaster career, and now another shot in purple and gold. But what does this really mean for the future of this team? And here's the real question I want you to think about right now. Is this a smart move for stability, or a sign that the Vikings still don't fully trust their future at quarterback? Right from the jump, the Vikings made it clear they are loading up the QB room with experience. After already adding Kyler Murray in free agency, bringing back Carson Wentz signals something deeper than just adding depth. This is a team that went from uncertainty last year to stacking multiple former top 10 picks at the most important position in football. That's not random. That's intentional. And Vikings fans, when a team builds like this, it usually means one thing: competition is coming, and nobody's job is truly safe. Let's talk about Carson Wentz himself. At 33 years old, he's no longer the MVP caliber player we saw early in his career, but he's far from done. This is a guy with nearly 100 starts in the league. His career record sits at 49-49-1, with 159 touchdowns and 72 interceptions. That tells the story of a quarterback who has had flashes of brilliance, but also inconsistency. But here's the twist. Sometimes, players like Wentz find new life in systems where they're not expected to carry everything. Could Minnesota be that place? Last season with the Vikings, Wentz stepped in when J.J. McCarthy went down. And while the results were mixed, there were moments that really stood out. He completed over 65% of his passes, threw for over 1,200 yards, and managed 6 touchdowns in limited action. Not elite, but definitely serviceable. And when you consider he was stepping into a tough situation mid-season, you start to understand why the coaching staff might want another look at him. One of the biggest highlights? That dominant 48-10 win over Cincinnati. That game showed exactly what Wentz can be when everything clicks. He played smart, protected the football, and let the defense take control. It was efficient, controlled, and exactly what you want from a veteran QB. Moments like that remind fans why Wentz was once seen as a franchise cornerstone in this league. And then came that London game against Cleveland. Vikings fans, you remember that one. With just 25 seconds left, Wentz connected with Jordan Addison for the go-ahead touchdown. Clutch, calm, confident. That's the kind of moment that sticks with a coaching staff. Because in the NFL, late-game execution is everything. Even in losses, Wentz showed flashes. Like that game against Pittsburgh in Ireland, 350 passing yards. Or the near upset against the defending Super Bowl champion Eagles. Those weren't empty stats. Those were competitive performances. It showed that even in defeat, Wentz could push this team to compete at a high level. But let's not ignore the biggest concern: his health. That shoulder injury he suffered against Cleveland didn't just slow him down. It eventually ended his season. And yet, he kept playing through pain for multiple games. That toughness? Vikings fans love it. But durability? That's still a major question mark. Now let's zoom out and look at the full quarterback room. You've got Kyler Murray, a former #1 overall pick. J.J. McCarthy, the young prospect the team invested heavily in. And now Carson Wentz back in the mix. 3 top 10 quarterbacks. 3 very different skill sets. 1 position. And that creates one thing: pressure. Don't forget Max Brosmer, the undrafted rookie who made noise at the University of Minnesota. He might be the underdog in this room, but every offseason, there's always that one surprise story. Could he be it? Or is this strictly a battle between the big names? Compared to last year, this is a completely different situation. Back then, it was basically McCarthy and a thin supporting cast. Now, it's one of the most experienced QB rooms in the league. From uncertainty to overload. That's a massive shift in strategy. And that leads to a bigger question: what is the Vikings' plan? Are they preparing for a true QB competition? Are they hedging against injuries? Or are they still searching for a long-term answer? Because right now, it feels like they're keeping all options open. Another interesting detail, Wentz wasn't even part of the offseason program last year. He came in late, had to learn quickly, and still managed to contribute. Now, with a full offseason ahead, could we see a more comfortable, more prepared version of Carson Wentz? There's also an emotional connection here. Wentz grew up a Vikings fan. This isn't just another team for him, it means something. And sometimes that extra motivation can bring out the best in a player. Let's be real though, this move isn't without risk. Wentz has had ups and downs, injuries, inconsistency, questions about decision-making. But he also brings experience, leadership, and a level of toughness that's hard to teach. So Vikings fans, I've got to ask you, do you trust Carson Wentz as a reliable option this season? Or do you think the future still belongs fully to McCarthy or even Murray? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. I want to hear where you stand on this QB situation, because this isn't just about depth. This is about identity. The Vikings are building something here, and every move at quarterback shapes the direction of this franchise. And this move is going to have ripple effects all season long. So stay locked in, because we're going to keep bringing you the latest Minnesota Vikings news, updates, and analysis. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more Vikings content. And share this with another Vikings fan who needs to see what's happening in this QB room. Skol Vikings, this season just got a whole lot more interesting.